Paul, what's going on?
Hey, let's talk about The Bride some more.
No, God. I wanted to like it. I was there, but I don't know, just sort of struck. I don't think the audience I saw it with liked it either. But look, Paul, I've been a fan of your work for so many years. All your whole filmography.
Thank you.
Just you've done. You make these little indie movies that are so well written. It reminds me of how important the screenwriter is. Obviously, you began as a screenwriter, became a director in your own right, and your latest Fluorescent Beast, which is now, I think, is out today.
Yeah, it's out today.
Out today. Everyone can see it, and we're going to look at the trailer. But tell me what led to Fluorescent Beast. I want to know the story.
The story behind the movie?
Behind the movie, and then we'll talk about the movie.
Well, okay, so let's now try to bend your mind a little bit if you can picture this. So I'm an indie filmmaker, right? So I don't make a lot of money doing my art. So I've had to do other things for other people to make money while I do my art. And I made a film about a guy who has a job and he wants to make art.
Yeah.
Go figure that. Go figure. So yeah, no, it's all about working in corporate culture and kind of how it's. I like to say that the plot of the movie is about a guy sent on a business trip and he's not told what it's about. He's told he's just sent on this, he has this amorphous corporate job. He's sent on this amorphous corporate business trip, and he's only given like small clues as to what he's supposed to actually be doing. But what I like to say the film is really about is how all the pressures of being an adult, like your job and all the responsibilities that layered on you, instead of being at the happenstance of modern living, it's actually a conscious conspiracy designed to crush your dreams, you specifically, your dreams, and eat your soul. And so that's what the film's really about. So I think anybody who's had to suffer in a 9-to-5 of any sort is going to appreciate the movie.
What I love about your movies is they are so relatable. There's subtext with all your films. Everything is so clever. I want to mention some of the other films because I met you when you made a movie called 10 Till Noon. Well, you were the screenwriter. You did not direct that one.
Correct.
And when I saw that film, it was back in 2005-ish. I saw that movie. I was blown away. That led to your second film, which was a documentary called Official Rejection, which I happen to be in, and I'm on the commentary for the DVD. Pick that up. Right. Like, give out my email and phone number like a moron. And
somebody pointed out that when you watch the DVD, there's a commercial for your book actually that pops up first.
That's right.
I had forgotten that. Someone just bought it and goes, "There's that commercial for the Chris Gore book." I'm like, "That's still on there." Wow. Okay. Because the thing's still in print.
Yes, I have a copy of the standard def DVD for Official Rejection. If you're a filmmaker considering taking your movie on the festival circuit, it's the best primer for what that experience is like, all the pitfalls. Then you made a movie called Cruel Hearts, which was, your movies are so, like, the writing is so intentional. The lines, I mean, these are, in my opinion, your filmography is the best written indie film work where it should inspire other filmmakers where, I mean, you don't make these big budget spectacular, although like 10 Till Noon, you make it as big as you can, but the writing is so present, it's so clever. And Fluorescent Beast fits into that. And what's the journey? I have the trailer. Actually, I found the trailer. I got it all queued up. I want to share it with our audience. Before we do that, like, what leads you to a project and your writing and like you gave us a little tease of the story. We'll watch the trailer in a second, but they're so plotted out. I don't see writing this good in as many indie movies of this scale.
Oh, well, thank you, Chris. That means a lot because I'm a writer at my core. I mean, everything's a life support system for the writing for me. I don't know, man. I mean, I just, look, I've written bad scripts. I just don't make them.
Right. Okay.
It's like you write a pile of scripts and you fall in love with one or two and you try to make those. That's really the name of the game. But I do try to think as completely as possible when writing, and it's all if it's not right on the page, it shouldn't get to the stage in my world. So you're seeing the highlights, of course, but that's the whole idea. Like if the writing's not working, don't fix it or move on.
And before we watch the trailer, are those DVDs and books behind you? There's a giant.
Those are DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks. I'm in my media room. So I live in London now, and when we bought this house, the previous owners had converted the garage because it's kind of inaccessible from the alley. They converted it into a 300 square foot like rumpus room. And they built in 5.1 surround. So now it's my theater room. It's detached from the house. So you can watch Die Hard full blast at 4 a.m. and you're not disturbing anybody. No one can hear you in the house asleep in the, through all the glass and doors and things. So this is the movies behind me. And then if I turn around, I've got, drop my mic.
There you go.
Wow. The screen,
nice.
5.1. Whoops, the mic is really falling. Hang on.
Popcorn machine.
The mic totally went down. But technical difficulties. But over there, I got a catering size popcorn machine, so I can make a full movie theater popcorn. Let me push the mic again.
Oh my God, that's my dream.
Got snacks and got the whole thing. So got a little. And my son and his friends come in here and clean me out every couple of days. So
love it. Hey, I got the trailer queued up, and it mentions that your movie is out on March 6th, which is
today.
Yeah,
it's on
there
all
it
the
is.
VOD.
Okay, wait, let's watch it. Let me put it full screen, and we'll share this together. Here we go.
Your work is very important. Your work is very important. Your work is very important. Your work is very important.
Hey,
that's us.
Hey.
Your review calls us a masterpiece twice. I am milking the hell out of that. I am mining that till I die.
By the way, here is the 10 out of 10 review on the film.
10 out of 10 review.
10 out of 10. Yeah.
So I mean, again, I'm gonna ride that review till I'm in the ground, and even then some. So yeah, you guys called me the Bobby called us a masterpiece twice.
Yeah, it's well, your movies are so well, and I recommend people check out all your films. Official Rejection, 10 Till Noon.
Don't forget Favor.
Favor, yes, Favor. My God, Favor had the best movie poster too. I thought it was hilarious. And it's such your movies always begin with the most simple premise. And what I love is I'm like, well, let's start watching, because I watch a lot of indies. I watch the first 10 minutes. I am riveted. You know how to grab an audience. And 10 Till Noon, just so many if you want to see great writing, what you can do with where that's the thing, because we just talked about a movie that didn't have such great writing, visually looked amazing, spent a lot of money, and it really comes down to if the writing is amazing, you can make a movie at a low budget level and really engage people. So
yeah, I mean that's what grabs the brain.
How do you raise the money for your films to make them? How do you go about the casting process for Fluorescent Beast?
Well, the money's different every time, but fortunately I make them at very low budgets. So usually we can just kind of start and the money finds us, and we find enough to get the movie made. So with Favor, we crowdfunded that entire movie. No one else came on board. And so, but then that was financially really successful. It was outside successful. So after that, some money people actually kind of found us, and we were able to, so we go to them and they, here's 10. I mean, again, it's not a lot of money, but yeah, the money, you start moving and people like your work, they'll write you a check, which is nice. And again, I don't make them. I was having a discussion last night with Vivian Kerr, is a friend of mine, and she's made films she made a couple of really good movies, but they're in the hundreds of thousands. And she's like, I really need to make them in the tens of thousands, because that's what we do. So it's much easier to raise. It's easier to raise $50,000 than to raise $500,000.
Well, I mean, what you have done what you have done with these small budgets is an inspiration. I say to anyone in our audience, we've got like over 1,000 people watching live right now, that take a look at Paul's work, not just Fluorescent Beast, but Favor, what and all your other films. They're so simple in the story. They're so simple in, but you grab the audience in the first minute, the first page, the first, you're just like, well, I have to see what happens next. And that is just, that to me is like, when you've got me, is like, what happens next? What about that? What happens next? What happens next? You're setting up. They're just so well plotted.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate. And then you have to come to us every time to get reviewed and be interviewed. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
and,
You gotta go to Film Threat.
yes, but
You guys are doing the thing, man. You're the place. You're the place where indies go. You're the place where you got to go if you're an indie filmmaker. So come on.
But you're the real deal because the budget levels you do it, and you're so focused on like what really makes an engaging movie. I mean, I didn't know Bobby gave it that review. That's great. I mean, you know, because I saw when you first finished it, I was like, oh wow, let me know when it's released. We'll talk about it. And here we are.
Yeah. Well, we did a theatrical run. We had trouble finding distribution. We had a theatrical run in summer of 2024.
Right.
So, and then we were sort of looking for a distributor that wouldn't rape us. That was really the that was really the thing. And actually,
you're not the first person to use that phrasing.
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely true. I have many discussions with it's really bad right now. So then I looked for well, okay, if we can't find a proper digital distributor right now, let's look for a physical media distributor. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of really great and honorable ones. The problem is most people want either bigger movies on physical media or they want older movies on physical media. Like if I made a film in 1983 on my camcorder, I'd have an easier time getting a Blu-ray remastered disc edition than a newer movie because there's an audience. The audience for physical media really wants to kind of reach back to older films, to rediscover things. They're real cinephiles, and they don't want to watch The Bride. They don't, they want to reach back to see things like Night of the Juggler, which is the 1980 film with James Brolin, which just got a remaster, which is a terrific movie that I'd never heard of until a few weeks ago. So we did that. We had trouble finding. We're still looking for a physical media distributor. So any boutique labels out there that want to put us out, give me a holler.
Yeah, I know of one.
Okay, we'll talk.
Anchor Bay Entertainment.
Are they back?
They're back. In fact,
all right.
Let me just show you an old film of mine.
I love it.
I'll put myself. I'm gonna switch spots here.
Oh, Big Fat Independent Movie,
which was out when 10 Till Noon was out. That's how I met you. They are re-releasing my Big Fat Independent Movie in a Blu-ray edition.
Oh,
all the extras combined from both. There are more extras on this DVD. The Blu-ray is coming out. In fact, they might even put out Red. Believe it or not.
Wow, the Lawrence Tierney movie.
We will do a screening in theaters of my Big Fat. Might happen we're working on dates, but I'll email you after, give you the guys' contact information because you'd be interested in your back catalog if any are available.
They're all available except Cruel Hearts.
Okay,
Cruel Hearts is still tied up. Cruel Hearts is actually on Blu-ray, and they're still tied up with that distributor. So
gotcha.
Well, those are all free.
We'll talk, offline, as they say. But let's go to we have comments and questions from our audience. Yeah, great. Let's go. Unless Alan wants to.
No, I'm good.
You got to see this. Well, you got to see it. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Alan, it's available today on VOD. You can rent or buy it on iTunes. Or
the only
Amazon
question I have is, it feels like for indie films, the distribution is the nut to crack.
Yeah,
the final.
It is. It is. What we ended up doing was putting it out ourselves through Bitmax. And honestly, the terms we got are insanely good. And it's the same lab we would have gone through if we'd gone with Gravitas or one of the other bigger indie distributors, and they don't get to control our movie for the next 15, 20 years. So it's kind of nice. So we have a lot of control. I'm actually been very happy with them so far.
All right. From MK Solid. That's a lot of physical media.
Nice.
That is, yes. And there's I don't want to knock my mic over. There's more over here. There's more over here on the thing. I got the big display pieces. Like I got the big Battlestar Galactica Cylon head, and I got the big Friday the 13th box set from Shout Factory, and I got the Evil Dead Book of the Dead, I believe from Anchor Bay, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
The Planet of the Apes. I have a whole the whole Twin Peaks thing. The whole Twin Peaks thing over there.
All right. Tim is not funny asks or says, I can't find any screenings of Fluorescent Beasts. Where can I see it?
It's no longer screening in theaters, unfortunately. It is on iTunes, Amazon, YouTube Movies, and Google Play. Yeah. It's on all of those to rent or buy. And I think the cheapest I've seen it is actually Google Play. It's also discounted right now on iTunes as well. But it's not. You can own it for less than $10 on all of these. But I think the rental's the rental's really cheap. So we're priced it to move, baby.
All right. ADL's 24. This film premiered in 2023. What has the journey to the public release in 2026 been like? Ooh. What lessons have you learned during that time period about the business and your own craft?
The journey was finding a distributor. That was the thing. And finally kind of carving out a way we could do it on our own. So that was really the journey. And so every time, you mentioned my filmography, there's a few years in between each one of those things, and distribution changes really quickly. Someone wanted to finance me making a documentary about distribution, and I said by the time the documentary is finished, all the information would be out of date and incorrect. It changes really quickly. So right now, there's a major vacuum in the indie film distribution space for streaming. For physical media, it's pretty good. There's a lot of good boutique labels out there, and more popping up all the time. But for streaming, it's rough. So that's the big lesson that I've learned is, going through all these contracts and being like, wow, they really, even distributors that I used to work with, who I've made money for, I get the new contract and they've made the terms so steep against the filmmaker that it's just like, I'm not gonna give you my film forever and make no money. Like I'd rather set the film on fire. I'd rather burn my movie in a parking lot than do that. This parasitic. And the thing is, they're still doing the same thing they did for you, the aggregator days, early days of streaming, where you guys, as filmmakers, are responsible for the marketing and the advertising and everything else. We're just going to place the movie. That's all we're going to do. And that's all they still do, most of these distributors, but they're charging you as if they're doing all the marketing and all the advertising. And they say, oh, we do marketing. All they do is they post it on their Instagram account once. So we're at a point where something's got to give, and if some new distributors are going to step up, and if an honest distributor stepped up, they could own the space because there's nothing there. Otherwise, most filmmakers, like I mentioned my friend Vivian earlier, we're all turning to kind of the self distribution route, and you have a lot more control. And honestly, we're using the same tools that distributors are using. We don't need them anymore to do that aggregation thing. We can do it directly.
So is self-distribution getting easier then?
I mean, there's still not as many doors, but it's yes. You can go straight. But basically, if you go with a distributor like Gravitas, they use Bitmax as their lab. So they take your movie and they take it to Bitmax, and Bitmax does all the work encoding it and placing it and delivering it and doing all the things and reporting and gathering the money. All that stuff done by Bitmax, right? So it used to be that the filmmaker couldn't go straight to a lab like Bitmax. They had to go through Gravitas, who would slap a logo on it, and they would, put it out there. But now you can bypass them and just hire Bitmax directly, and you get 100% of the revenue the film makes. Yeah. And it's a 3-year term, and it's non-exclusive. So we have a lot of control over the movie, the control that Gravitas would have. So if someone like Gravitas isn't bringing anything to the table, why go with them? And honestly, and there's no difference in what we're doing. Gravitas, they have a relationship with some of these platforms, so they can maybe get you better placement. But beyond that, there's really not a lot they're giving you for what they're taking.
Yeah. You do all the work, they keep all the money.
Yeah, and they're charging like $40,000 against the movie, which is absolutely insane. Like for what? And they charge you for I still have 2 movies with them, and they charge us every month for their like drive storage of the movies. Like that's the cost of doing business. Like you wouldn't have hard drives, you wouldn't have servers if I didn't sign with you. You would just have no servers. Like
ridiculous.
That's like charging me for turning your lights on, or or your rent, like on your office space. Like, no, that's not okay. And that's actually violating my contract every time they do that, and they do it every single quarter. Wow, I'm gonna have they're gonna be calling me. I'm gonna get an angry email tomorrow from Gravitas. But guys, when I had 2 films with them, the first film I had with them, Favor, was so successful, they took me out to lunch in Beverly Hills. Like, that's how much money we made for them, and the relationship was so good. And the last time when Fluorescent Beast was out on the circuit, they contacted me, and they didn't have any idea who I. Hey, maybe you've heard of us. I'm like, I'm one of your stable filmmakers. Like, you literally, like, tell your acquisitions guy to see if I'm. It should be a different relationship if I have 2 films with you already, one of which made a lot of money for you. So now I'm on my soapbox. Now you got me all angry.
There you go. We got a lot of questions.
Go see Fluorescent Beast.
Here we go. Bring out the GIMP ass. Paul, what are those posters hanging on your wall?
Oh, let's see. We got for the cinema room, we got Foxy Brown, Moulin Rouge, Psycho, Jaws, The Graduate, Sunset Boulevard, Clockwork Orange. Yeah. And I've got the Killers over there, the old Don Siegel movie, and I've got Fight Club over there, and I've got Goodfellas over there, but you can't really see them. So I bought these in Camden Market in London. They're just this cute little size, and I got the frames at IKEA for like £2, and there you go.
And I bet your son's friends has never seen any of those movies.
A couple of them have, but most of my son's friends are like, well, I don't know, man. But the weird thing is, my son brought them over here to watch Fluorescent Beast. They're all 15. They're all these 15-year-old British schoolboys, and and they've watched it multiple times. Like, they're nerding out about the movie. It's kind of fun.
Amazing. All right. Caveat Ties, how did you gather your crew?
Well, fortunately, I've made a number of films, so I kind of go back to the same crew over and over. I have kind of a team that I like to work with, which is really nice. A lot of them are for referrals. A lot of them, well, actually, I gathered a lot of them originally when we first crowdfunded Favor. I mentioned that film was crowdfunded, and people I knew in the film business wrote me to volunteer because they saw the campaign. Oh, you're making a film? When? I'll give you 3 weeks. I'll give you 2 weeks. I'll do this. I'll hold a light. I'll do sound. I'll do this. So that was kind of how it started. And then that's how I found like my costumer, and that's how I found like one of my producers, and just over time, you kind of gather your people. I guess people like working with me because they'll keep coming back for really terrible pay. So they keep returning to me. So I guess that's how I did it. So unfortunately, I call them all friends. Like, it's really nice to work with people you like.
Yeah. Christopher Moonlight Productions asks, question for Mr. Osborne. I'm having a debate with a friend about back history. I feel it can easily derail a story, and you should only know enough about the character that relates to their goals. Thoughts?
I kind of agree with you. I think you should have the backstory there. I think you should know the backstory. I don't think you necessarily need it to be in the film, though. I think it's like it should be there if you need it, if that makes sense. Like, but yeah, I don't think you don't need to get into a lot of backstory on someone, as long as it's clear who they are. As long as the audience knows who they're watching. You don't need to get deep into it. But sometimes it's helpful for you as the writer if you know the backstory, even if it never appears on screen, even if it never makes its way into the screenplay. I kind of like the idea of saying, like, if you have a story, it's like a dark room full of stuff and just a bunch of things. And when you're telling the story, you got a flashlight, and the flashlight's just shining on. And so you can see the things the flashlight's shining on, but you can't see anything else, right? But if you moved it this way or this way, it wouldn't be empty space. You'd see more stuff there, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think you don't necessarily need the backstory on screen, but if you know it, it helps.
All right, Davina Duckworth, did you work a corporate job for research?
I was I was working as a writer at CBS at the time. So yeah, for CBS Paramount. So yeah, I did.
That was very corporate.
Yeah. And my parents are both accountants. So I've glimpsed corporate office cubicle life most of my childhood when I would go see them and be like, this is. But yeah, actually, it's funny. Some of the film is shot at CBS covertly. So the main character's office at CBS, that's actually that was my office as a writer at CBS. And I just like on a Friday night, I stayed late and I redressed the office for the movie. I got rid of all the CBS paperwork. I put in all our dummy paperwork. I rearranged the computers and put all the things in place. And I brought the equipment in and then I left that night. And then on Saturday, we came back with the crew and no one was there and we shot. And then on Monday morning, I came in early and I put everything back. And, and no one was what we shot. There's a scene where he goes into he goes into the desert and he gets into I won't explain why, it sounds random and it totally is. And he goes into an underground bunker of sorts. And it's this labyrinthian, it's this little shed, but you go inside, it's this labyrinthian bunker. And the bunker is actually Television City, formerly CBS Television City. And we're walking past all the set dressing for like The Bold and the Beautiful. And Eddie Jemison has a cameo in the film as the keeper, and which is in our trailer. And he's standing in the hallway outside the Price is Right dressing rooms. And there's a scene where the big corporate boss, played by Patrick Day, is in his big conference room, his big corporate conference room. And it's actually the CBS executive boardroom at CBS Television City.
And last question right here.
From ADL's 24, during the period of time getting this film out to the public, have you been writing and planning your next directorial effort? What stage of getting that project off the ground are you at?
Okay, good question. I am writing. I'm in the going into the second draft phase of the script is where I'm at with that. But yeah, so that's working on that now. I really like this script. I think it will work. And so once that's done, it's off to the actors that I want to use. If they say yes, then we set a start date and hopefully we're shooting by the end of the year. And it will be shot here in London.
Wow. Well, congrats, Paul. Fluorescent Beast is out today on digital, yes. Google Play, YouTube, iTunes. Get the film, rent it, buy it, whatever, and check out your back catalog, Paul Osborne.
Thank you so much. I think most of them are on, almost all of them are on Amazon. And I think Cruel Arts is on Tubi. I think Favor's still on Tubi. It might be, it might not be, but they're all, you can get them all on Amazon if nothing else. So
and hopefully physical media in the near future.
And yes, and you can probably track down 10 something on DVD on eBay really cheap. For some reason, there are, even though it's out of print, there's thousands of copies, new shrink wrap copies floating around. The distributor had like 50,000 extra, and they just sold them to some like liquidator who, that company that puts those big piles of movies in like convenience stores. Yeah. And so whenever I go to eBay, there's like, those sellers have like, we have 100 of them. So.
Well, get it. Official Rejection too. Strongly recommend that.
Yes. And that's still in print on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon. It's now an MOD, but you can still, made on demand, but you can still get it on DVD. And it still has your commercial, Chris, right at the top.
Oh, that's great. I'll take it. I mean, I look, I did 4 editions of that book, but I stopped doing it. You know why? By the time I read a book, it's out of date in terms of the info. So it's like, well, you can get all this online basically. So I did 4 editions. They're still around, but yeah, I can't thank you enough for all your support, Paul. It's been amazing.
Oh man. And likewise, thank you for yours. Like, what are we doing right now? I love this.
Yeah. Well, you approached me and I'm like, well, when does the movie come out? Well, let's do the interview that day.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Cool. All right.
Perfect.
Well, it's much Thanks, later Paul. For you there. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and hit me up when you've got another movie, if not before.
I will. I'll hit you up before. I think that's a good idea. And I'll hit you up about Anchor Bay, actually.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Email me. I'll hook you up with their people, so to speak. See how this happens, folks? I'm trying to help people.
It's the magic. You're watching networking and promotion at the same time.
Exactly. All right. Take care, Paul. Congrats on
Thank
the movie.
you so much. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Bye, Alan.